Welcome to Business Reporter's Future of Retail campaign. Open source powers nearly every retail application today, from mobile apps to in-store systems. It enables speed and innovation, but it also brings critical vulnerabilities. A single flaw can disrupt services, compromise customer data, and trigger costly regulatory penalties. So how do you safeguard the foundations of digital commerce without slowing innovation? Well, to help answer that, I'll be talking to Matt Moore, CTO and founder of Chainguard. He'll share how his company is rethinking open source software for retailers and other enterprises that need to combine fast-paced development with robust security. Matt, welcome. Matt, open source has been the backbone of the software development ecosystem. What challenge does it present to companies and brands in general?
So open source has been a tremendous accelerant for modern software applications, and it's been transformative for the software and really the whole industry. They can leverage huge package ecosystems like NPM so that the amount of software they end up writing in order to deliver modern applications is very, very small. But that means that a significant amount of the software that's running in folks' environments is coming from the internet, right? From, in some cases, unknown sources. These are binary artifacts. They're opaque. They often don't have provenance associated with them, so you don't know where they come from. And a lot of the artifacts that end up in places like NPM or in the Python ecosystem, PyPy, are coming from folks' laptops. Some of the risks associated with it are, non-compliance with frameworks like PCI or NIST or ISO. There's also the risks of breaches, an attacker getting in through an unpatched vulnerability, or being able to deliver malware through an insecure method of consuming that software. In addition to all of that, right, your developers didn't sign up to continuously patch CVEs in software they didn't write. And so there's a significant amount of toil and undifferentiated heavy lifting that they have to do that distracts from innovating and building business value.
Why are retailers particularly at risk if they don't address the inherent vulnerabilities of open source software?
Yeah, retailers today are running software across a wide variety of contexts. They run back-end services, they have e-commerce websites, they have mobile applications, a lot of them have in-store systems, and open source powers all of them. They're running open source in all of these contexts. And all of those contexts are also typically handling different types of sensitive customer data, from loyalty programs that have phone numbers and addresses to processing payments and transactions. So just imagine that a breach happens in any one of these contexts. It can be incredibly damaging, both from a financial impact as well as a brand impact. Retailers should be holding their software supply chains to the same standards as their physical supply chain with respect to transparency of where every component is coming from.
How can Chainguard solve this systemic issue?
So my co-founders and I have spent a lot of time in this space, in the developer experience space, open source, containers, security. We've been around all of these problems for a very long time. And we knew that in order to solve this problem, in order to achieve our mission of being the safe source for open source, we needed to go super deep. We needed to build effectively our own distribution from scratch. And we're effectively building a secure supply chain for customers to consume this from, building everything from source with all of the patches applied in hardened pipelines so that folks have all of that rich supply chain metadata and can do the sorts of supply chain tracing that they can do with their physical supply chains in their stores. Everything that we build and release also carries a cryptographic signature. What this enables folks to do is, as artifacts are moved from one environment to the next and included in the ultimate software, the authenticity of those components can be verified to have come from Chainguard, from a particular source, produced by a particular build process. These cryptographic signatures make their entire supply chain auditable.
So are you essentially replacing open source then?
I wouldn't say we're replacing open source. I would say we are giving folks a trusted way of consuming open source and not having to rely on the opaque binaries that lack the provenance information that they have used traditionally.
Why should companies with competent in-house developer teams use an external provider like Chainguard to give them software kits they could build themselves?
By leveraging open source, they're already leveraging a significant amount of outside software development. We want to enable our customers to get all of the upsides of open source, including those efficiency gains, without the downsides, including risk and developer toil.
How does Chainguard's solution work in practice, and how is it implemented?
We have a catalog of over 1,700 container images that customers can pick from to find the applications that they're looking to replace with Chainguard next. And we add over 100 new container images every month to fill gaps that customers find in our inventory that are things that they want to run in their environments. We have application images that many customers just take and run in existing Helm charts like Envoy or Istio or other types of off-the-shelf applications, as well as your base language runtimes like .NET, Node. Developers can integrate them into their existing Docker files, replace the from line with a Chainguard sourced image. And these images are all functionally the same, but they've been hardened and minimized and carry all of that rich supply chain metadata that we talked about earlier that gives you transparency into your supply chain. And for customers who want to standardize on Chainguard, we have a catalog option where they can get access to the full list of 1,700 images, and that grows over time. Like I said, every month we add 100 plus container images to that catalog. This journey to implement Chainguard does not have to be daunting, and you do not have to go it alone.
What's the impact of your solution, and how do you measure the value that it adds?
Yeah, so we root everything in the results our customers see. Fewer vulnerabilities, faster compliance, and more productive developers. As an example, Trustpilot recently implemented Chainguard, and before implementing Chainguard, the vulnerability management process was extremely manual, and their engineers were burning hours a month patching CVEs. After implementing Chainguard, they had near zero CVEs, and their developers were freed up to focus on innovating and building business value. The Trustpilot CISO indicated that Chainguard is now pivotal to their security strategy because we eliminate vulnerabilities at the source.
We've talked about trust, risks, and solutions. What would be your key takeaways for busy decision makers to remember?
Yeah, I would ask a decision maker, right? Like, what would you do with 10% more headcount? Or if we were to give you 10% of your engineering resources back, what would you do with that? Secondly, I would remind decision makers that what we do isn't magic, but sometimes it feels that way to our customers. And finally, a quality supply chain matters. And this is just as true for your software supply chain as it is for your physical goods.
Matt, thank you very much for your time and for these insights.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That was Matt Moore, CTO and founder of Chainguard.